Hey people! What would be your reaction to the word ginger automation? We shall find out in this video. Before getting started, let us know about Upptalk. Upptalk is a live, interactive platform for software training, furnishing robust personalities who could take on universal business platforms.
What is ginger automation?
How is ginger referenced in technology? It's time to start discussing the topic. An open-source automation framework called Ginger makes it simple to combine toolkits for automation and test processes from many technologies and functional areas. It provides a user-friendly GUI-based drag-and-drop feature that enables the reuse of existing automation assets from other tools and technologies without the need for coding expertise.
The topics we will cover in this video are: reporting part, actions, variables, retry mechanism.
Looking forward to learning more about new technologies from us. Then don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Upptalk channel.
The rest of the topic will be explained by Mr. Pratik. Without further delay, let's start the video.
So what happens is you need to save your solution, okay, on keep intervals, okay, because it may sometimes crash because of our memory leakage or something, or it may be something like something you closed it by mistake or something, so our unsaved work will not be there again, okay. So I recommend you keep on saving, because most of the time you will also see us keep on clicking on the save button to while we are writing the automation script, okay. So in that way it's a good practice to always save our work. Although there is a folder, okay, there is a folder there. If you check, there is a folder in the backend called autosave, okay. So in the autosave folder, we can see the some things which are automatically get saved. So maybe just have a look once again. If you see something inside that autosave, that means it's automatically saving something, because I also faced some issues previously where the unsaved work got um, discarded, or we are not able to see the unsaved work. But in that way we can go through and check it again, okay. So you can try that as well. And I hope whatever things we have done till now, everyone, I mean each one of you should be able to apply it, okay. Whether it's a flow control, whether it's a variable declaration, or where we are setting a value, overriding the value of a variable, or it's passing the environment URL or anything, okay. So that should be clear to all of you. And if any doubts, you can definitely ask in between, okay. So we can discuss whatever we have, because every day we will be having a new topic, so we will be getting more into it. And then if previous things are not clear, then definitely will be causing problems later on, okay. So that is it. And in the Excel, you already see how we can read the value, okay, very easily using the Excel action, which is definitely a very good action where we can directly perform it, or either we can write something into the Excel, okay. So that is also we have seen. So now what we will do today, we will learn some advanced concepts like a retry mechanism, okay. What is actually a retry mechanism and how it works, okay. And we will also see some other things today, okay, like the reporting part, which is the very important part, how we can see the reports in Ginger, okay. So let me start sharing my screen, and as discussed previously, we will be creating the new project, okay. So here's my screen. Let me start sharing. Okay, so we will be creating our new solution this time, okay. Create new solution. So I will name it as practice day 4, okay. and I will save it in the same Ginger projects directory. Okay, because all my projects of Ginger are here at this location only, and I will select my target application as web app, and I will click on create. So this should be um, very much clear to you, all of you now, because we have done this multiple times. Okay, so here we can see one business flow automatically created, one activity created. Okay, but I will be using the environment one, so I will be configuring one environment, as we discussed previously as well. To We should have some environment, some agents in our project. Okay, that looks like we are working on a project, we are following some framework or some stuffs. Okay, so here I will add the URL as my parameter, and let me go to any website. Let's suppose I will be working today on some real estate website called housing.com. Okay, any website you can take. We will taking live website because there we got good challenges. Okay, otherwise we can, if we take dummy website, something like that, then definitely there are simple controls which we can do it easily. Now we have configured the environment. Now we will go to the configuration tab. Okay, so in the configuration tab, okay, here's the agents. Okay, so in the agent I will be creating a new agent, and that will be my Chrome agent. Okay, because I want to perform my operations in the Chrome browser. Okay, so I will click on finish. Okay, this thing. So I will you can see I'm hitting clicking on save again and again, so that if there is a crash or there is something I will not be able to save, it should be saved. Okay, so now what I will do, I will create a new business flow. Instead of that, I will create new folder first. Okay, so I have a folder called develop, because these are the habits. Okay, if you build this kind of habits, it will be very easy for you later. Otherwise, what happened is, like, we all are human, we make mistakes, and we are not able to do this again and again. Okay, so I will just create one business flow where I will be testing this housing website. Okay, just an assignment for me, let's suppose, to do some housing website stuff. So I went into it. This is the first activity. I will name it as search property. Okay, because it's a housing website, I need to search the property. So my activity, we should be a proper naming convention, that it is for the search property. It's a test case which is regarding the searching the property. Okay, now the first thing I will do is I will map my Chrome agent. Okay, because I will be running on Chrome and the environment is env1. Okay, so that should be clear. Now what I will do is I will go to my action library, and in the platform action I will select the browser action. Okay, so in the browser action I will pass the URL, and that URL will be coming from environment parameters. So this thing we have done multiple times. I hope this thing is already clear to you all, that how we can parameterize some URL from the environment. Okay, so you can see here in the environment one, are we getting the correct URL? It's getting amazon.com. Why so? uh, in the resources we have environment one. Here we have environment. I clicked on save. In the business flows, here is the environment one. If I go to open the expression editor and click on play, it's giving me environment one as Amazon. Let me try to run this once. Okay, because there's some cache maybe. Okay, it's opening Amazon.com. Okay, housing website. Need to rename the business flow as well. Just a minute. So meanwhile, you all can also create your own business flow. Okay, one solution, one business flow. Just do with me, because maybe I will be then move very quite forward ahead, and you will be practicing behind me. So that's why let's try to do till this point. Okay, everyone should be able to create a new solution, create a new business flow. Okay, configure an activity and an action. Okay, and just update me once it's done.
And an environment, we need to create environment as well.
Yes, we need to create environment, we need to create one business flow, we need to configure one activity and one action in that. That is a launch URL. Okay, I'm just quickly restarting my Ginger, because I'm not sure when exactly I restarted it. Yes, I mean last time, maybe 4 or 5 days before, 3 days before. So I will be opening a fresh new instance of it. Meanwhile, please practice and please create a new solution and new activity as well. Okay, I restarted, it's working fine. I will add this action. Please let me know once it's done. So we'll just quick recap. Solution, newly solution, create solution, new environment, new agent, new business flow, new activity, and one action. That is the browser action and launch URL.
Did we create this particular
Mm-hmm.
uh, this particular variable is created in environment?
Yes, we go to resources tab, we go environment tab. Okay, here in this environment, if you expand it, you can see your web app, your platform, and here in the parameters we created this URL.
Hello, Pratik.
You have done?
Yeah. When I go to value expression editor
Yes.
from
In the action,
the
yeah, operation settings.
environment, yes,
Mm-hmm.
then when I click the play button,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't display the
Yes.
housing.
Yes, because here you can see in the
Icon.
background, here environment should, we have selected
Mm-hmm.
default, I think. So default environment doesn't have URL parameter. The URL parameter is inside env1 or whatever environment you have created. Okay, just cross check if you have selected the drop down from the drop down the previous, the correct environment.
Yes, I put the housing.com
Mhm.
inside the environments under resources.
Okay, but have you selected from the drop down? Here you can see my cursor. uh,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Here you have selected the from the drop down the correct environment.
The created environment.
Yes, and now you are clicking on play and you are not able to see results here. You're seeing like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if
The
that,
URL is not displaying.
yes, so if that is the case, maybe your parameter is not saved, so you will be seeing some star over here, just click on the save button, or do one thing, right click on it and click on save parent environment.
Okay. All right. I'll try anything.
Yeah,
Thanks.
because this is not currently saved, and it's the expression editor is not able to check the unsaved changes. Okay, so you need to save the environment correctly and then try it. So those who have done it, just try to run this action, okay, so that and check if it's able to launch the website at your end. Anyone facing any issue, just let me know, we can discuss.
Yeah, I encountered the same issue with Aleli, but
Mm-hmm.
upon checking the environment selected in the activity or
Mm-hmm.
the business flow,
Mm-hmm.
it's not yet selected to the environment that we created. So
Okay.
that's why
I
we
was,
cannot,
I was able
uh,
to do that.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
yeah,
So what's happening is currently if we don't save it environment, either you will not see in the drop down the environment, or if
yeah,
you're seeing in that environment, if you select it and the parameter is not saved properly, then you'll not be able to play the value. Two things. Okay. One thing is like the drop down, in the drop down environment itself is not visible.
yeah.
That means
That's why it's
the
not playing
yeah,
or it's not
that means the
getting
environment
the
is not
value.
saved. So you can just right click on the app and click on save parent environment once.
Yep.
Go to the resources tab and just right click and save. One thing. So you'll be seeing the environment here now. Okay. If it is there, then just try to go to the
Yep.
expression editor and check.
Uh, it's not working.
Perfect. Thanks, man. Thank you. So now let's move ahead and let's discuss. Okay, I have just launched the URL. I hope you all are able to also launch the URL. So now what we will do, we will move ahead and we will do some flow on this website. Okay, so let's suppose here the in the drop down, I need to provide some value. Okay, the city name, where exactly I want to buy some property. Okay, so uh, there are multiple ways. Okay, you can do it the same thing. One thing I will just tell you is like you can click on inspect. Okay, and once you inspect something, um, you can point out this using this inspector, and you can go to this point and you can say, oh, this is input tag name, and the type is text, placeholder is some city name, whatever is at your location, and there is a class. Okay, so can anyone help me in writing the XPath of this? Who wanna try? If you can try, just write the XPath and paste in the chat box. Just try writing the XPath for this particular element and paste in the chat. Let's see what we have. Okay, so we got one from Rommel. Okay, that there is an input tag name with type attribute name as text. Okay, but Rommel, don't you think this can be multiple results? Because I can see two of the text box I'm
Yeah,
already seeing here.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so perfect try and very good approach, and it will work as well. I'm not saying it will not work, but it has multiple results. So can we get something which is unique? Okay, wow, John has given some with the class. Okay, the class is search dash bar css ateldr. Okay, that's a perfect one. Okay, we get a one perfect one, which gives only one result. But just one, I have one suggestion that there are some white spaces in the class value. So can we try something with mm, but you guys are doing perfect. Guys are doing amazingly well. Okay, because at this level, at the initial level, you are writing these kind of XPaths very correctly. I mean, the tag names are correct, the attribute name and its values, and the syntax, putting the value in the quotes, closing the brackets. Perfect, perfect. Oh, Rommel has come with a contains one. Yeah. So slash slash input contains at the rate class, comma, CSS, AT, That's the perfect one because we don't have white spaces here now. Okay. But one suggestion is like when we write these kind of XPaths, okay, instead of value as CSS, can we use the search? Okay, because it's a search city. Okay, search bar. So the same one which Rommel has used, I will be using the same thing. But definitely, guys, you guys are perfect. You have tried it using contains. That really it's really appreciates like you are doing this kind of stuffs. Okay, so just now I changed with a search one. Okay, the class contains search. So I'm using the same XPath. I copied it. I go to the platform actions, action library, platform action, UI element action. I go inside this element action. I will choose it that I want to do it via XPath. I will copy paste the XPath. And what is this? This is a text box. Okay. So just a text box. And I'm putting a value, maybe the city as Dubai. Okay. So we'll also have a proper description to enter value in search city. Okay. So whatever be the search city text box is there, I want to enter a value. Okay, that value will be my city name, that is Dubai, which I don't want to hard code. I will be storing it into a variable. So I will go to the string variable. Okay, and inside that string variable, I will name the variable as, okay, ACT city name, and I will put the initial value as Dubai so that I can use that in my action. I will rename this. I will parameterize it with activity variable city name. So just let me know if you are at till this point. So I hope Lily joined back after restarting her laptop. So
Yeah, it's working now.
perfect.
Thank you.
So we have just yet not done anything, just we have added one more action, that is a UI element action. And we provided this XPath what Romil and John has suggested to me in the chat. Okay, so using this XPath, I'm putting a using a element type as text box and a set value operation, and I just provided the name of the variable in which my city is there. I'm searching for Dubai basically currently. So here is the Dubai, which is inside my variable. Now, if I change anything from Dubai to anything from this variable, it will automatically get reflected
Mhm. Okay.
in my action. So I will also try to run it and check if it's working. Yes, it's working. It entered the value as Dubai perfectly. Just let me
Yeah,
know
it
if
works on
it's
my end.
working fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. So now if you guys have noticed here, okay, the thing is the way we do manual is different. The way we do with automation is different. Why? Because if you do it manually, you will come here, you will write DUBAI, okay, and you will select a particular city from the suggestions, okay, like the suggestions like this, okay. However, when you do it by automation, it just enters a value. So maybe sometimes it's not taking it properly because you have not selected from the suggestion. Remember, many websites have such kind of ajax control where we have to manually select from the suggestion only. We are not supposed to type directly and enter. Okay, so for that purpose, how we will get the suggestion? We are not getting the suggestions. So what we will do is we will basically use the send keys operation. Okay, that is the difference between set value and send keys. Okay, you should be very clear here, guys. Why send keys? Send keys is nothing but typing some value, sending the keys. What are the keys? Your keyboard keys.
Hitting the keyboard keys. Okay.
Okay, so when you try to do it send keys, you will be seeing the suggestions as well. Okay, because now it's a double Dubai. But if I remove it and I try to run this, now it will give you the suggestions as well, and you can see the cursor here. Okay, otherwise if you set a value, it will just directly parse the value. Getting my point? What is the difference between set value and send keys? Send keys basically sends the keys so that you will get a proper manual impression that you are doing it manually. But if you set a value, it will just parse the value inside the text box like in the backend. Okay, clear everyone? So now what happening is, okay, now we are doing send keys as well, but still we are not getting the suggestion. So what I'm going to do is I will just copy paste this action. I will copy this and I will paste it, okay, as we do previously. And I'm saying here in the description to click get suggestions, okay, because I want to perform click operation as well. And this time this is again a text box, okay, and I can see if I don't have, I can consider it as a hyperlink as well, and I want to perform a click. Okay, so just I will try to run this action, and now you can see it's giving me the suggestion. It just clicked on it to get the suggestions. Okay, clear everyone? So if we write like this and click over here, it will give us the suggestions. So that is what I'm doing here in my automation as well, that I search for a value, I enter the value and I click to get the suggestions. So I click here and I get the suggestions. Okay, so I will be selecting from the suggestion, I'm not directly doing it. Clear? So this is just important part because we cannot do every time like these things. So we have to do it this way as well, to pass it via send keys and to perform a click operation. And once I apply the click, I need to select the value. So I need to write an XPath for this. Okay, so if you see, if I inspect this element, this is an li tag name with the text Dubai. So I will write // li, and then I will write text equal to Dubai, like this. Okay, because we can use attribute name value pair as well as text and value pair as well. So I will again add a UI element action. Okay, and I will name it as click on result, whatever the result is. It will be via XPath. I will pass the XPath. I will put it as an hyperlink and perform a click operation, and I will click on run, and it passed. And now it's selected from the suggestion. Okay, so now if I run the whole activity again, okay, it will launch the URL. Okay, it will relaunch the URL, and oh, now I'm getting some pop-up. Yeah, so now you can see it will try. It's trying to click on Dubai results, but it's not actually getting it. So let me do one thing. I will be coming on this as well. I will add a wait of 1 second over here because that the suggestion sometimes takes time to reload. And let's try to rerun the activity again to check if this works fine now. Okay, I will just relaunch this website once again, restart the agent, so that I will be having a fresh page, because Dubai I have typed multiple times. So that's why the suggestions are not taking place properly. But you should try this on your own. What is the difference between the set value and the send keys? Okay, even you can try to automate google.com. Okay, where you can search for any of the string. Okay, so there also you will have to use the same thing. Okay, the same way. So now once I perform a click operation over here, I'm not seeing the Dubai city. Okay, why I'm not able to see it is because once it's send keys, okay, like this, and let's try to click on it, it is not properly clicking, getting the suggestions of the Dubai. It's getting suggestions of all the cities what I have here in the
Mhm.
initial phase. Okay,
Okay.
I mean to say, like any of the cities. Okay, and there we have Dubai in the last. I mean, we have to scroll a lot. So that's why the results are not getting updated. But my whole idea is you need to use the send keys. Okay, to perform this one, you need to perform the send keys operation to pass the value. Okay, similarly, let's suppose I create a new activity. Okay, I will just save this one. You can see if there is a star over there, that means you have unsaved changes. Okay, so always remember to save it again and again. Let me close this browser and let me create a new business flow. Okay, let's suppose I want to do the same thing on google.com. Okay, and just for I'm doing one more try for google.com to show you the send keys. Why? Because when you enter a value via set value, it directly puts it inside the DOM, document object model, that you see in the developer option. But you perform a send keys, it will pass the keys one by one. Okay, so here if I have the same action as browser action, and I have go to URL HTTP. As for now, I'm not passing from environment parameter, I'm just passing it from directly from the browser, and I click on run current action. This will open definitely a new browser for me to open google.com, and there also I have a text box where exactly I want to feed a value to search a particular string. Okay, So when we search for a particular string in google.com, there also we get several suggestions like here, like this, right? So I will be adding one more action quickly, UI element action, and I will be doing it here as which operation. It may be xpath / input @name equal to q. I remember the XPath now from google.com because I have automated it multiple times. And this is a input text box where I need to, once I will have to set value, or I can do send keys and write automation. Okay. So here, if I close this one and I give here search value, try to run this activity now. So this will open a new browser with google.com and will search for a value automation in the text box. Okay, it happens in this way, that all the actions will be running in a sequential manner. Okay, whatever you configure it first will be running the first, whatever you configure second will be running as the second. So you now can see the blinking of the cursor is still here, means you are passing it via send keys. Okay, and now you can select any of the option. Let's suppose I inspect this. Okay, and here I want to search for this particular automation string. So I will write / span text equal to automation. Now copy this XPath and I will add a new element, new UI element action, and I click on suggestion. So this is, I will give it as click suggestion, and operation type, it will be again an XPath. Will pass the XPath. I will search, it's a hyperlink basically. So I perform a click operation. If I run it, okay, you can see it search for the automation. Okay, like this. Now the one thing I want to tell you here is that string automation, I don't want to hard code here, as you all know. I don't want to hard code anything here. Okay, and if I open google.com, let's suppose I search for this string automation. Okay, and I pass it away through a variable, the same way we have done previously as well. I will add a variable, and that string variable will be my act_search string. So whatever I want to search, I will pass in this variable. I will not hard code it. Okay, so this variable I will be passing it here in the expression editor. I will remove the hard coding value and I will pass it via activity variable, that is my act search string. You can play it, you can see automation is there. Perfect. But if you see the suggestion here, I'm hard coding again in the XPath. Okay, so what you can do, you can even parameterize inside the XPath that whatever I search, I want to see it via contains. You got it? What I'm doing here, I'm not passing any hard coding value in even in my XPath. I have parameterized that XPath with my variable value. And why I'm doing this, because whatever I'm searching on the initial page, the same value I want to search.
So, so what I understand is to parameterize even anywhere, if you use curly braces, it will assume it's a parameter and it will look for its variable somewhere and find its value.
Yes, correct. I mean, wherever you see these three dots as an expression editor, there you can parameterize any value. So not compulsory that you want to parameterize it always.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
So my question, one more thing is that is this the var name? I know because we are doing it over here, it's easier, but I can't just parameterize as X string. I'll have to look at the var name is equal to X underscore such string so that it knows it's a variable. Am I right? This is the syntax.
Yes, it's a syntax. it's the basic syntax, and you don't need to remember this, because if you double click on any of the variable, it will automatically get populated.
Yeah.
But this is the, yes, this is the syntax you need to understand. Like, it's a var name, and the var name should be this, and I want to get the value of this var name and parameterize it here. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. So now if I try to run the same thing again, the run activity, it will launch a browser, it will open google.com, it will search that particular string automation, which is in my variable part. Okay. And that variable only I'm using again to create an XPath, parameterized XPath, so that I'm not hard coding anything anywhere in my this thing. Okay.
Yeah, fair. And I understand that. For example, if there's a temporary variable as well, we can pass in a temporary variable and use it in an XPath or something. We have scenarios where we don't know beforehand its value, but we read it. And as we read yesterday's example, we read that value, put it in a variable, and use that variable in an XPath or somewhere just to check it out.
Yes.
So for example, okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. So let's suppose just a best example, you create a customer, that customer ID you fetched from the UI, store it in a variable, and after that you need to check via XPath or parameterize it to check if that XPath is correct. I mean, that customer ID is correct. You can pass the customer ID over here. Okay. Something like this. So now we will be going through the different types of variables, okay, which is very important, guys. Please understand this one carefully, because most of the time you will have to create the random strings, random numbers, and all those stuffs, okay? Because let's suppose you need to create a random string number, okay, to pass it as a mobile number for let's suppose you want to create a customer, telecom customer, which is having a mobile number of any random 9 digits or 10 digits. Okay. So there you can create a variable, okay, random number. You can say sixth number, variable random number. You click on add variable, okay, and let's name it as, this will be my random mobile number. Okay. And this is again my activity variable, so I'm in prefixing with ACT, and here you can give the range. Okay. So what exactly I want is, I want some number of 10 digit. Okay. So 33639, okay, and 110. This is my minimum value and this is my maximum value. So any number in between this range, okay, I will be getting, I want to get any random number between this range. Okay. So here I give the minimum value and the maximum value, whatever you want to do. Okay. So it should be something like this if you want to generate a random number of 10 digits. Okay. Clear? So if you have added this, okay, and you want to use it in your business, in your activity, then you need to go to.
Yeah, my question is this:
Yes.
will this random number will be generated different every time we run the test case?
Yes. Yes. So that's.
But when I tried it with a string yesterday, but that string, it was. Can you go back? Can you go back to this thing, the variable?
Yep.
For example, so there's this lightning top right. There is this lightning icon.
Yes.
Above this lightning. With that, it only when I click this, it generates a new value here.
Yes. Yes. Perfect.
But when I run, it uses the same value again and again.
Yeah.
For string, I didn't try for number.
Okay. Okay. Let me do it. So if I check this integer, I will get the integer first of all. Okay. So that I will get only integers, not in the decimal. Okay. So you can see this is 339,310. Okay. So this is a 10 digit random number. You can, each time you click on this random thing, it is creating a random number, but we will not be clicking it at runtime manually. We have to do it in our scripts. So for that purpose, you need to add an action called set variable action. Okay. Just add the set variable action and select your random number, that is random mobile number. And here the operation should be auto generate value.
It's okay. I was just playing around. That's why probably I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just thought you do it. So it will.
Yeah.
Now I've got one more question. Two things.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sorry. Hopefully, I'm not now others round because these are valid question. Because see, for example, in Australia, every number starts with 04, every mobile number.
Yes.
Okay. So if I generate auto number, I can't guarantee that it will. So can I give it a pattern that it doesn't care what rest of the numbers are, but the first two numbers have to be 04 or plus 614, for example.
Yeah.
So how do we make sure those things? So it's
Yes.
that
So there are
pattern. And for example, email, especially emails, random
Yes.
emails.
Yes. 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 So let's suppose I just created this random mobile number, and this as a prefix, I want to generate
I'm
a.
sorry, am I going ahead or
No worry.
disturbing
No,
this
no.
thing in the
No,
flow?
no, this is the valid question. Okay. So what
Yeah,
I will
because
do
what
is,
happened yesterday, I tried a lot doing that. I was playing around last evening. Yeah,
yes, yes.
I
So
couldn't get it right.
I create a variable string. Okay. Let's
Yeah.
suppose, and I will name it as this will be my email. Okay. I will name it as act underscore email. Okay. So I just created a normal string variable act underscore email. And now what I will do is that randomly generated mobile number, I will use it here. Again, a set variable action. Okay. So one set variable action is to auto generate the random number. The another set variable action I have added to pass that random number inside this act email. Okay. What I will do is I'll go to the activity variables. That particular random number which I just auto generated will come here and will pass it at the rate gmail.com.
Okay, or I got it. And I just give you a bit of this thing. For example, I generate, these are 10 numbers, including 04. So I generate a random number for 8 numbers and append 04 before that.
Yeah, you can do that as well. You can do it.
Yeah,
Like
so every time that a number is generated, yeah. So if I do 04, it will add a 04 at the start of this thing,
yes,
always.
yes. So let's try to check this and just run this action. It get passed, and you can see in the description the variable act email value is now set to 04. Then we have
Got it. Thank you. Because sorry, you see that's what is training about, because I tried doing it like I spent at least an hour doing this.
Yes.
Set variable. Okay, thank you. Please carry on. Thank you very much. Because I was very concerned about this random generation, because I see a lot of requirement for us to generate data. I mean, creating 20 different kind of customers, and we can't reuse mobile, we can't reuse email addresses, because these real systems which you're testing,
Yes.
it will flag this thing, that email mismatch, and also very important part for us in testing. Thank you very much. Yeah.
But just remember, when you have a random number, then only you will get this auto generate option from the drop down. Okay. When you get a normal string variable, okay, and this is the this is a random number. I intentionally choose this, the type of this variable is a random number, variable random number. But if you have a set variable action with only variable string, okay, you can see here set value, reset value, and clear special characters. These three operations you can perform on variable string. However, you can perform auto generate operation on list variables as well as the random string and random number variables. So this operation is very important. Perfect. This is good. Now I hope everyone is clear. Shalin, John, Romel, or Lily, all good? This point, creating different types of variables.
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Yeah. So another type of variable is we have list variable. Okay, so maybe very less, but you may need to create a list variable. Okay, so what does this list variable do? Let's see. So it's a list variable. Let's suppose I have a list of I will just take some examples is like act underscore customers. Okay, so the customer is basically a particular list of variable. It should not be above anything. So I have two types of customer. One is called my prepaid customer, which pays me beforehand, and one is my postpaid customer, which pays me after paying my bills, after generating the bills. Okay, so these two list variable I created. Okay, these are the list values. You can do it via comma separated. Okay, and once you can see, here is the formula. I mean, these are the different values inside my list variable. So now the list variable comprises only two values, okay, either prepaid or postpaid, nothing else, no third value. Okay, so we can put it as a general string as well, but that general string will have any value, but we don't want to pass any value. We want to pass the customer only with two values, either prepaid or postpaid. Okay, so you can do it like this way. You can define it like this, and you can do it like this. And once you want to use it, let's try to do a set variable action. And if we pass this customer, okay, you want to, here also you will get auto generate value, because auto generate means either prepaid or postpaid. It will take from the list any one value. Okay, so just check in the logs in here. Okay, if I click on run action, you can see ACT customer is set to prepaid. If I again, ACT customer is set to postpaid. So any of the list value will be taken randomly.
Yeah, but if I want, for example, a particular operation, I want a particular value,
Mm-hmm.
then I can define set to this value only.
Yes, you can set value, okay, to prepaid only. That will be passed as a prepaid only, but may be required that from the list value you have to pick any of the list value, not apart from any other from the list value.
No,
Okay.
I understand that. I
Yeah,
understand that. Yeah,
yeah.
because see, you're right. Some test cases you really don't care, but you want to evenly divide that if it runs
Yes,
two times, one time it is prepaid, one time postpaid. But
yes,
sometimes there's a specific scenario. For example, there is a specific prepaid workflow is different and the postpaid workflow is
yes,
different,
yes.
and you want to test that workflow. Then that is handy.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you.
So that is the significance of this list variable. You can pass certain set of list values only to this list variable. Okay.
And this is so important part. I
Yes.
have I have a meeting. I
Yeah.
was already late for that meeting, but I want to still say
Okay.
this variable thing because I don't want to miss out on this thing because this is something I find is so important for us
Yes.
everywhere. We deal with data,
Mm-hmm.
and generating data is the most important part because
Definitely.
Excel. Um, I don't know when I last time used any external static data.
Mm-hmm.
To be
Yeah.
really honest, we use it sometimes, but it's not very
Yes.
often. Usually, we generate data randomly.
Correct.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. No worries. So help. So the next variable is the variable number. Okay. So here also you can have in this variable number, if you go here, you can see you can pass a range. Okay, the range can be minimum value of any digit and the maximum value of any digit, and you wanted it into an integer or a decimal, that also you can pass it. Okay, so the minimum value can be 0 and the maximum value can be 255. Okay, so below this range, I mean during this range, you can get the value. Okay, if I do this, and if I, this is the one that you can see in the right hand side, reset variable value. So whatever be the initial value, it will be reset to that. Okay, and here is the undo last changes. So whatever done, you have done some changes, you can do it via undo the things. Okay, but in this way we can create a new variable number with a particular range. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let me add this as a act underscore this can be my street number. Okay, so you are creating a customer and you want to pass the street number. So I just created a street number as a number variable number, and I use that again the set variable action. Okay, and I will give this a description as set street number, and I pass that street number. Okay, here also I get an option of set value and reset value, so I can pass 34, and if I click on run action, it will set the value to 34. Okay, so in this way also you can create any number. Okay, any variable number, and if you pass it out of range, okay, that is I passed it from 0 to 255, I passing 200 400, it will give me an error. Okay, it's giving me an error that 400 is not in range. The minimum value is 0, the maximum value is 255, and you are doing something with 400, not allowed. Okay, getting my point? So what's the difference between a normal number variable, okay, and a variable number? Because variable number will have a minimum and maximum range, but in normal variable we cannot provide the range, we can give any value. So this is just an additional constraint we are adding here, that the user should have only this between this range. Clear? Now another variable is your password string. So this will be also used many times because you need to provide the login credentials. Okay, so I will write it as act underscore password string. Okay, and here you can see, as it's a password variable, where whatever I pass, okay, let's suppose my password is august@2021. Okay, I click on outside, it will automatically encrypt it so that nobody else can see this password, not even I myself. Okay, so in that way you can encrypt the password, but whenever you use it inside your action, it will pass the exact one, aug@2021. Okay, it will not pass the any other, it will pass aug@2021 only. Why? Because we have passed the original string, but we have now encrypted it by our own, so that's why this will be encrypted. So that is the use of this password variable, so that we should not share our credentials to anyone, or just I'm sharing my screen to the client and he'll not be able to see whatever value I'm passing here. Okay, the password. Clear, everyone? What is the use of this password string variable?
Yeah.
Perfect. Then random number, we already know. We have just created the random mobile number. Random string. Okay, if you add this variable random string, um, it will create you a length of the string. Let's suppose here is the minimum length 3, maximum length 6. You want alphanumeric, you want only digits, you want lowercase as well as the combination of uppercase. Okay, so you can check all of them. Okay, so there becomes the formula. Okay, that this is the formula you want to use, and if you click on this lightning button, it says 479 because you have selected digits only. If you now select, it's only capital letters, so I will remove the lower and upper, I will just have these two things. And now if you generate, it's giving me a string with numeric as well as alphabetical, and I will remove this one, so you can see I'm getting only the uppercase letters. Okay, so in this way you can manipulate, if whenever each time you run it, you will get different random strings.
Yeah.
Okay, so definitely you can create different random strings and add them together. It's not at all required that you pass some hard-coded strings only. Like suppose in this one email, even we can pass the combination of variables. Okay, before 04 I want to pass the street number. Okay, so even I can do it like this way as well, street number. So now first my street number, that is 34. Okay, then 04 which I have hard coded. Okay, because it starts with 04, then a random number and add the or I want to do one thing, I want to add the customer type as well in the starting. So now it will be like postpaid, then street number, then 04, then random string, mobile number, and then enter the gmail.com. Okay, so in this way also you can pass them like this. So it depends on you how you want to use this expression editor and to set the value, but these are the different types of variables we can use. Okay, the selection list is also the same thing. Okay, like we have the variable list, the same way we have the selection list. It's a new form of this variable type. Okay, so what is in this list, we will get the value as 1 and 2. previously in that particular list variable we have to provide it via comma separated. Okay, in this new list variable, okay, selection list, you got the specific values. Okay, so they have not removed it intentionally because previously some of them were using that one, previous one. So currently we can select the value which you want to select, like value 1, value 2. This will be the selected value, and or for sure you can auto generate them at runtime. The same list variable we have seen before. And then we have sequence variable. This is very important. Okay, the sequence is nothing but the index. You remember yesterday we are category, in the category we have used the index variable. Instead of that we can create a sequence variable. Okay, the sequence variable also have a minimum range and maximum range, and this will always increment by 1 only. It's not, what is the difference between sequence variable and this range variable? Number variable is, number variable if you auto generate it, it will give you each time any number between that range. Okay, but if you use this sequence variable, each time you auto generate it, it will be incremented with 1 only. I will show you one example. Let's suppose I give range from 1 to 99. Okay, so each time I will auto generate it, it will only increment with 1, not any number between 0 and 99. That is the difference. Okay, each time you increment it, you will get a new number, and if you want to reset it to the initial value, you can just click on this reset value. It will reset to 0, which is the initial value.
And we can have any interval, 2, 3,
Yes,
4,
yes,
5, whatever
yes,
you feel
yes,
like.
yes, yes. The same way we can have 3 intervals, so it will give you the multiples of 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, so on and so forth. Okay, so the interval depends on whatever interval you want to do it. Okay, let's suppose in the Excel, from the Excel you want to take all the odd number of rows. You want to read data from all the odd number of rows. Okay, multiple of 3 or something. Then you can use this sequence variable. Each time the variable will be incremented with 3. Okay, and then you can read the data from third row, then sixth row, ninth row, 12th row, and so on and so forth. Okay, when you will be actually using it, you will find the use of this variable is a lot. You will see like there is a huge change, okay, in your scripts, in your implementation, if you use this kind of variables. And specifically, as Suhel mentioned, that when we have to create random data, we have to create bulk data. Okay, because that's where automation plays a crucial role in creating random data and creating the test data with different combinations. Because otherwise, if you create that data manually and do it via automation, there is a huge time gap. Okay, the same thing you can do it in 1 hour, the same thing you can do it in 1 minute or quite few seconds. Okay, so therefore exactly the use of this variable will come for you. And the string variable, this is normal string variable. We don't have any number variable. We use this string as a number only because it's kind of dynamically defined. Okay, so either you use it as a string variable or a number variable. And specifically the variable timer. Okay, so you can use this as well. This is newly added. So if you want to add in seconds, hours, or whatever you want to type, you can use it and you can set the variable as a timer. Okay, so these are the different variables. I hope you will be using it while doing the assignment. Okay, because when we do you give you the assignment, we'll expect you use most of the things what we have done in the class. So just remember guys, in the set variable option there are set value, reset value. What is this reset value? It will reset to the initial value. Whatever initial value was there, it may be 0 or whatever initialization you have done, that it will reset the value. It can clear the special characters as well. If you talk about the random string, if we talk about the other one, okay, let's suppose this one, this is variable list. So you can see auto generate. Okay, this auto generate, what it do, it will take any value from the list. Similarly, if you have a random number, then you will auto generate anything. So it will generate, auto generate means using that formula, it will auto generate a random string for you. Okay, clear. So this you can try adding different variables. The main concept I want to go here is now the retry mechanism, which is next in our agenda. So what is retry mechanism? If you go to the flow control tab, we have added the flow control in our last class yesterday. You remember there are different conditions we can add, like action should be passed, action should be failed, some legacy condition or some custom conditions. This is the flow control part, but we have a retry mechanism. What does that retry means? You want to rerun this action, this particular action, for a particular amount of time, okay, in a particular interval, and for this number of retries you want to do. Okay, so for example, this clicking on the suggestion, let's suppose I change my XPath little bit, I give it a wrong XPath. Okay, let's suppose I remove this square bracket in the last. This is an invalid XPath. You can see this is an invalid XPath because I have removed the square bracket in the last, and I have enabled the retry mechanism, okay, for interval of 5 seconds, okay, for number of 2 times. Okay, let's suppose I passes as interval of 1 second at number of retries as 2. Okay, so what will happen? Let's see. If I run this activity now, you can see it first launched the URL, okay, and it went here, but you can see it tried twice, but it are not unable to locate the element, but it executed twice. Let me do it some more time. I will have it at 7 times. I want to keep this action to run 7 times to retry it again and again. Where actually this will be working on, I mean, where exactly you will find it, its main use is like your element is taking some time to load, which you will see in your Salesforce application or any application where exactly the spinner is loading. Okay, whatever you create, some customer or something, it takes some time to reflect on the UI. You don't want to fail your script at that moment. You don't want to put a hard coded wait at that moment. You can perform a retry mechanism, okay, using this, so that it will try for 7 times at an interval of 1 second. So let me rerun it again. If I run this activity again, you can see it first launch the browser, it first time, second time, then third time, fourth time, and so on and so forth. 7 times it is executing the same action and trying to find the element with that particular XPath. Okay, but it says unable to locate an element with this XPath expression because this is not a valid XPath. The one thing is the weight we are adding here is an hard-coded weight. Okay, like the flow control, you see this in the flow control only, you see a weight over here. Okay, so if you wait at put a weight of 10 seconds, this is a hard-coded weight. That means this action before running, it will wait for 10 seconds definitely. Whatever happens, it will wait for 10 seconds and then only this action will run. Okay, after 10
that weight is okay. And what about this weight, in the sense that wait to appear kind of thing? It happens,
yes,
you're getting
yes,
it.
yes.
So there is no
Yeah, so for that purpose we have explicit weight
timeout.
applied on a particular element. Okay, so for that purpose, if you go to the platform actions, okay, there is a smart sync action. Okay,
Okay.
so if you go here, smart sync action, let's see what it has. It says wait until display. You need to
Got it.
wait. These are the expected conditions which we applied in the explicit wait, if you remember about the Selenium. So there are wait until disappear or wait until display. Wait until
Yeah.
disappear where we can use where there is a spinner. So we have to wait until that spinner disappears.
Yeah. So my question would be like, for example, I have to click a button, okay, and the way the website is, it takes a while sometimes for this button to appear. It's some heavy loading, it goes back and all. So I can, if I'm using just click on that button, the test case may still fail because it's still loading, or it waits for load and then wait, something like that.
Yeah.
Or
So
shall I apply this thing, wait
yes,
for this until display and then have that action to click?
yes. So suppose there is a button. If you click on that particular button, it takes times to load. Okay. So you need to check which element appears after clicking on the button and the page reload is done. Okay. Let me
Yeah.
give you one live example. Okay. I have one website. I was planning to give them in the assignment, but I will show you here. This is a website, bigbasket.com. Okay. Ordering the groceries. Let's suppose I go for a vegetable section. Okay. I click on search. Now you can see when this page loads, there is a sorting category. You want to sort it by popularity, high to low, low to high. Let's suppose I click on this. There's a spinner. You can see until this spinner is loaded, you'll not be able to check for any of the item, or you don't want to, you want to check this checkbox. Okay. So here, when you perform any change in the sorting, you need to wait until this logo disappears, this loading disappears. Okay, otherwise you will get a failure in the next action. If after that, let's suppose after sorting you want to click on this Safola, it will not work for you because there is a loader spin loading which is hindering in between this checkbox. So you need to wait until that element is disappeared. So there we will use this action and we will say wait until that checkbox, that logo is disappeared, that loading spinner is disappeared. Okay. Or the other way you can do it is like, suppose this is the action of clicking on that, you can add a retry mechanism over here, that I want to retry after every one interval for 7 times. So you know that after 7 seconds it will definitely load. So this one will keep on retrying. Don't add a hard coded wait over here. Put it as 0 because it may sometimes take 7 seconds, 1 second, 2 second, 3 second. Okay. So in that way we can work upon. So retry mechanism is very important in case of database actions as well. Okay. And mostly I'm 90% I have used this retry mechanism in case of database operations. Like suppose you created a customer and that customer is in the state of tentative T. It is getting activated and comes into status A in the table after few minutes. Now the time takes on the depends on the web logic, like it may take 5 minutes to 50 minutes, whatever time it is. You need to keep on polling every 1 minute or every 30 seconds that what is my status. So you put a query over there in this action. Okay, database action, we will come upon it, how to connect to the database. And then you keep on polling it each and every time, every interval of, let's say, 5 seconds, you keep on polling for 700 times. So it will not take actually 7 into 5, I mean 3500 seconds, 3500 seconds. It will only take the number of retries what is expected. Let's suppose it comes in 3 retries. Okay. So I mean 3 for 15 seconds you will get. Only this action will run only for elapsed time only having 15 seconds. Okay. So this is the thing. And the another checkbox you can, the text box you see here is of timeout. Okay. So what is timeout? Timeout is basically the maximum allowed time you defined. Okay. So let's suppose your action is taking a lot of time to load. Okay. So you can pass a timeout over there that I want to just check for this particular action to check for only for 10 seconds. I don't want to run it for a long time. Okay. For example, let's suppose this website only. Okay, bigbasket.com, if you go to the home page, that takes a lot of time to load because you can see there are a lot of categories and all, and everything is there in the bottom. So these keep on loading for a long time. So let me add a browser action. You all know that if you want to launch a browser, launch a URL, you need to use this browser action. You can definitely put a drag and drop anywhere. I will be putting it in the last. I don't want to use it in the top. I want to put it in the last 9th number action. Go to URL and I pass this URL. So now if I run only specific this action, run current action, it will see how much time it will take. Okay, it's keep on running for 3 second, 4 second, 5 second. It launched it. Okay, but still it's keep on running. Okay, because there are lots of categories going on in between the bottom and everything. And if it is keep on running, our scripts are getting hanged basically. Because we are waiting a lot time, but the page is loaded, but still some elements are not loaded. That's why it's taking a lot of time, and we want to time out it. We don't want it to run it for a long time. We know that it has opened the URL, so just we are good here. We don't want to keep on running it. So you can define a timeout. Okay, that this action should run only for 10 seconds. After that it should come out, whether it's a failure, whether it's a pass or whatever, but it should come out. So now it took around 55 seconds to load this. You can see 55 seconds. I don't want it like that. I want it to be timed out. After 10 seconds I can just pass the timeout here, and now this will just take 10 seconds to load. I mean 10 seconds, and after that it should come out whether it's a failure or it's a pass. Okay, but after a failure or a pass, it's on me how I want to change the converter of this status of this action. So I want it to be always passed. I can put it as always passed because I know in 10 seconds it will launch the website to me. Okay, I can mark it as ignore fail. Don't mark it as a pass, but let it be fail, but ignore it. Don't stop the execution here. This is a valid failure. I know that it will fail, so I put it as a ignore fail. Or I want to invert the status. Let's suppose if it is passed, I want to show it fail. If it is fail, I want to show it as pass. Yeah, right? Like in the spinner one, the big basket spinner logo, there we can use this invert status. That means if the logo is vanished, okay, that means we have a pass. Okay, but the action will automatically fail. So fail will become pass, pass will become fail. So these kind of things you can do via invert status, and by default it is none. Whatever is pass, so pass, fail, so fail, no timeout or nothing. But whenever you put a timeout over here, maybe your action will fail and you need to pass. You can change it to always pass. That yes, I know it will pass, so I will keep it as passed, always passed. Okay. So in that way, we can configure the timeout, the wait is nothing but the hard coded wait. It will wait for 10 seconds. Let's suppose I put a 10-second wait. It will definitely wait for 10 seconds before running this action. Before executing this action, if I want to wait a particular amount of time, I can put a wait, but this is not suggested to put a hard coded wait. Instead of that, you can enable the retry mechanism. It will keep on polling once it is get the result either in the first iteration, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, or seventh. How many number of retries you give it, in the same whatever number of retried it gets the results, it will show you and will mark the status. Okay, so I hope so this thing is clear to all of you.